Hey everyone, it's Norm Farrar, aka the Beard Guy here, and welcome to another Lunch with Norm. Wait for it, the Amazon FBA and Ecom podcast. Yep, we switched it up.
Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm.
Okay, I'm going to bring in Kelsey. Where are you, Kels?
Hey, so we'll have to change it.
You noticed that, huh?
Yeah,
the Amazon Ecom podcast.
I did.
Instead
I was
of
the
the
one
Rise
that
of
made
Microband.
that.
Yeah,
I made
well,
that.
very good. You don't have to tell the secrets. All right, so today I guess our guest bailed, and
Well, we don't know for sure. We think he's just running late.
yeah, we haven't heard from him
Some
though.
technical
So,
issues.
anyways, if he comes, he comes. If he doesn't, we'll talk about something different. I was thinking about we could touch on maybe Amazon posts if you like to do that. We could talk about a subject we talked about last night in my group mentoring community, the Centurion League. We talked about VAs and how I work with VAs. And I know I see Fatia's on, so we could talk a little bit about that. That's fresh in mind. And if you wanted to touch base on that, just let us know. Do you want to know how I work with my VA? And if so, if our guest doesn't show up, I'll ask Vandana to come on and maybe we could just talk a little bit about it live. So how's that?
Okay, not bad. So yeah, if you guys have any topics that you guys are interested in right now, just put them over into the comments section and we'd be happy to dive into them.
Okay,
but before we get started,
yep, go
I
for
would
it.
like to...
Just one sec. I'm just going to contact Vandana and get her to come on.
All right. So I'm just going to remove you. All right. So it's the Kelsey, Lunch with Kelsey today. So just hold on with us for a second. We're just fixing through some technical glitches, but let's see. So let's smash those like buttons. If you have any questions for me, feel free to ask away. Norm is just arranging a guest right now. We're not sure what happened today. Probably a miscommunication on my end. I'm not sure, but if you guys have any interesting topics, put them in the comments section. What are you guys interested in Amazon and ecom right now? Welcome DK, Arishakar, welcome Manny. Hello Mark. Okay, Fatiha, can we touch on press releases aiming at Christmas in mind? How do we proceed for that time? Okay, fantastic. So I'll let Norm know about that. So just bear with us. It'll be just a couple minutes.
Yep. So Kels, can you send Vandana a link to get her on? She is there, ready to go. Just if the other guest comes on, just let them know that we're coming on with a different topic today, and we'll have to reschedule. So
okay.
While we're waiting for Vandana, man, you guys, you want to see me go in the fetal position? I knew this would happen one day. It kind of happened, but our guests always come on maybe a bit late, like a minute late. This has never happened before. So let's see if you start to see me slowly start to crunch down, that's because I'm going into the fetal position. But let's see if I can work myself out of it. Fatia, you wanted to talk about press releases, aiming at Christmas in mind. Well, let's talk about that for a second. So, Shane comes on once in a while. He talks about press releases and content marketing. There's different types of press releases. In fact, there's 3 different types of press releases. And when you're looking at a press release, you can go to a simple online press release. Those are typically very inexpensive. They go out to, it depends on the distribution network, but they'll either go to Small Town USA or they'll go to some content providers like, it might go to Market Watch. It might go to Yahoo News or Yahoo Finance. It might go to a bunch of other. It really depends on the price. If you see something for free, I would probably run. It's going to do you no good. It's just a bunch of junk links that'll end up happening. But there are some definitely good social media, some online providers out there that you probably look at around the $49, like $50 range. The next step up is what we call the social media press release. And those are the ones that touch on social signals. So you'll have A higher distribution, the quality of link, the authority links will be, it could be from Reuters, it could be from the AP Press. That's a content marketing, that's a content distributor. But you'll see that there's a bunch of other links, usually higher quality, and you'll see that there's influencers or journalists or bloggers that'll also be sent the information about your press release, and they can either pick it up and blast out the information through their network. Those typically go from about $100 to around $300. Now, the best press release, the absolute best press release, for me anyways, would be the traditional press release. I know at our company, we wanted to work with Amazon sellers, and we didn't think Amazon sellers would go for this one. These press releases go for about $750 to about $1,500, and they go to it's the biggest blast. It's to the major networks. You've got the AP Press. Hi, Kelsey. How are you? What are you going to interrupt?
Hi, I'm just letting you know that Vandana is here, so we can start
give me
whenever
2
you're
seconds
ready.
to finish this up, and then we'll bring Vandana in and tell her she's awesome for coming in at short notice. But anyways, going back to the traditional press release. So that traditional press release can go out sometimes to 5,500 outlets, usually going out to Yahoo Finance, Market Watch, the Associated Press. These are all content providers or content distributors that'll blast it out to even more outlets. Reuters is another one. But these type also target more niche magazines or periodicals. So you get a lot more exposure, but you also pay a lot more. What I would do for this, Fatia, is I would go and probably in November, create a better quality, the traditional press release. It'll cost you $750 plus, but it'll give you some knowledge and education. Google loves it. Because it's news, it'll pick it up and it'll promote it better than any other form of content. So that's one that I get going during the month of November. So Google can start ranking my product. If I've got something, you can talk about launch, but you could talk about features. You could talk about an incredible promotion. Just depends on how you word it. So the only time you can talk about a promotion or a discount or anything like that is during the quote. There's an area in press releases where you can quote, and then you can say that that XYZ CEO XYZ says that he is incredibly or she is incredibly excited about this new promotion that's going to provide this, this, and this over the next 2 months. So that's one way of working with a press release. Now, just a little added bonus, if you want a bit more juice when you're working with press releases, write a really good piece of content and make sure it's associated. So I've talked about the trick working with, like, let's say dogs. So you write a really great piece, an article about the 5 ways elderly dogs benefit from natural pet treats or bully sticks, and it's 1,500 words or 2,500 words, and you get right into it. It's not some cheap, crappy, 200-word blog article. The next step is writing that press release talking about how grass-fed organic bully sticks provide healthy benefits to elderly dogs. Now, within that press release, so the blog article gets published first, maybe a week later, you publish the press release, but within the press release, there's a link over to the blog. And both the press release and the blog go back to Amazon. And that's going back to your listing, or it's going back to your store, or wherever you want it to go. So that's what I would do. The other thing before, and you have to do this months before, I would try to get into the editorial recommendations. That can take months to get approval for editorial recommendations. That could give you 10 to 30% extra sales. And I would also be looking into gift guides. So something that other people aren't doing. So if you, and we've talked about it on the podcast before, but gift guides are an incredible way of getting a lot more exposure through different types of external, adding more external contact or content. I'm just so excited that Vandana is going to be here. I can't talk. So if anybody else has any other questions about press releases, post them in there and I will definitely answer them. But where is the lady?
Hello,
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You're going to be a master at this.
Hope so.
So Vandana is a senior project manager. She's my right arm when it comes to the AMZ club, and she was on our group training yesterday. She had no idea she was coming on, but but anyway, yeah, we're gonna wing it. How's that?
Yeah,
I know a lot of people that are listening probably were involved with the mentoring call last night. But if you do have any questions, just put it into the right-hand column, and we will definitely answer them. So, Vandana, you're a VA. What's it like? Well, I don't like saying a VA because that's really quite general. You have specific talents, and you take care. You basically run the one business for me. You do all the delegating and write all the tasks. Let's talk about that. So, what is a day in the life? What does a day in your life look like?
yeah. So generally, my days it starts from organizing all my tasks, creating a priority list, organizing things together. So every day we have areas because every time when you work with Amazon, it is a never-ending job. So every day you have repetitive tasks, checking on the same things, arranging things, and as we talked about yesterday, because of this whole difference in the time zone that we have, I get that extra spare time wherein I can do the arrangements, do everything before the day starts in US or the day starts for you there. So that's how my starting 2-3 hours look like every day.
Right. And one of the things you were talking about last night, which I think is important, is you, before I get up, you're already sorting the tasks. So you're ABCing the tasks. How important is that?
Yeah. So first, it looks like what is a very prioritized thing. Like if you get a weird notification from Amazon that your account is at risk of deactivation. So obviously, that is the first point. But if there's something smaller or minor, small changes that you have to be done, that goes second in the list. Then there are things that we want to change but can be done tomorrow as well, or can be done later, or you don't need any assistance from Amazon or have to contact support. So that comes to the third priority list. So accordingly I arrange my day, because yes, Amazon does not picks up call like 24/7. So they have a time limit that from this time to this they'll be responding to your calls or emails. So then I try to finish the extra work that I can do before getting on call or before trying to reach out to Amazon.
Now you have a really cool technique, and I think everybody listening can use this. So one of the things you found, you were always on the phone trying to solve issues with Amazon and getting 10 different answers. And now I love what you do. So you wait until you get somebody that has a brain, right? And I don't mean to be mean, but there's just a lot of poorly trained Amazon customer service reps. But when you find that person, that diamond in the rough, you store up all our questions. So you might have, from all of our clients, you might end up having 10 questions, and you're not going to call, like if you call for each question 10 times and get 9 out of 10 answers, I mean, it's just a waste of time. So you actually wait, unless it's urgent, and that's a different story, but you compile all these questions, and then when you find the right person, you've told me that you find that they really want to help. And so now you've got the answer. Now you've got a person that can actually do something, and it saves a ton of time. So I mean, that's a really
Yeah,
great
but
technique.
usually what I do when I have such a task or such type of questions or things that are coming and I'm not getting a proper response or a right answer from an executive, I usually create a document and keep like a file with all the questions or all the topics that I want to talk about or I want answers on. Then every time when I call them or for the day to day activity, when I reach out to a representative who is giving accurate and proper answers and getting the things done for me, then I take the half an hour, 1 hour sometimes, like this is also my question, this is also my question, how should I do this, how should I do that. So everything, once in a while, like once in 10 times, I get a representative that can answer all my questions. So yeah.
Right. I know I saw a question here, and we can go back to this
Mhm.
hiring, the whole hiring process.
Yeah.
But Fatia said, how did we meet? We actually met in a very unusual way. It was actually through an email
Yeah.
that I answered about an experienced Amazon rep. We ended up kind of going through a process, a hiring process, which we could talk about. That's
Right.
typically not my way of hiring a person. I will go through a very, um, uh, uh, I want to say an arduous uh, process to find people, because I want to make it really hard for people to respond to my ads, and there's a reason for it. But with you, Vandana, we ended
Yeah.
up going through a couple of conversations, and then really the final conversation was quite lengthy. And I wanted to know what you knew, and it was specifically about Amazon. It wasn't just a general VA. It was, I wanted to make sure that you could work with my clients. And what I was trying to do at the time was I was trying to wean myself off of a lot of the business so I could grow other businesses and for somebody to take over and help me out. So like we talked about it last night, but what was it like being on the firing line?
Okay, so basically, first thing about interview, yeah, it was a long 2 hour call, and he was asking me so many questions related to everything on Amazon, right from keyword research to PPC to everything, everything. And I remember that so much. Like I didn't knew that it was going to be that simple. So I was myself preparing, getting prepared with all the answers and all the things that I do. Generally, there are different strategies everyone follow. Like there cannot be same strategy related to anything or same plan or POA. So I was trying to make you understand that no, I do it like this or I don't do it like this. It was very lengthy call, but yeah, we did it.
And there was things that you didn't know, and
Yeah,
I mean
obviously.
you didn't have to be an expert in everything, and that's just an unrealistic expectation. So one of the things I think that's very important is that when we're hiring a VA or a contractor, is that the person's willing to learn and expand. We
Yeah.
want people to become experts, and right from the get go. And I mean, I was talking back years ago with Manny Coates, and I said, I don't take training. I don't go to training. I have people go and do that. I pay people to do it for me and summarize. And that was one of the tasks. You still do that for me.
Every day, that's my everyday task. So every day I have some or the other thing to look at, to take the training, summarize it, and send it to you.
Yeah. Yeah. So and then we put it into, what's going to work, what's not going to work. Uh, One of the other areas that's very important when hiring a person overseas, not really usually in North America, at least for internet speed wise, but there's a few things that we required, and one was your internet. What was your internet speed? The second, and that was a screenshot, and then the screenshot of your computer, which actually sucked. That was bad. But then we had, what was the other thing? Your cell phone. So the three things, everything worked except your computer was like, I think Bill Gates actually probably designed that first one for you himself.
That was a
It
sample.
came out of his garage. But what we wanted you to do is make sure that you were able to, the speed was there. So if the internet speed is not there, you might be paying $10 an hour, but you're really spending $20 an hour or $30 an hour because the internet speed's not there. And I had to let go of a really great, what could have been a really great executive assistant recently, because her internet speed was nothing. I couldn't, like, we communicate a lot with video, and a 1 minute video almost took a half hour. It was 15 or 20 minutes to download, and we just couldn't operate that way. And then I know with your computer, that sucked. We got you a new computer, and the agreement was basically that over the year the computer would be paid off.
Right.
But we paid for it with the understanding that 1 year it's just yours. You go for it, and it made a huge difference immediately because you could work and you can keep up, and and I think that's really important. The other thing I think is very important from the get-go is that you can't abuse wage. You're not getting, and we're not going to talk about what you make, but you're not making what somebody in North America living in Toronto or New York would be making, but you are making a very good salary for where you're living. And you were living in Poland, then you moved back home for a while. You're in India right now, but you're making a very good salary, I think, for where you are. And the reason for that is stability. I didn't want, and I don't want my key employees or contractors, I say employees, I mean, it's part of the family, but to go and find something for 10 cents more, and all of a sudden, they're over there. There's no loyalty. And I wanted to make sure that you and your family, Mary's family, Nina's family, all these people have security. And if you don't have security, how do you work? You're always worrying about paycheck to paycheck. And I never want that to happen, to anybody that's working with me. If I'm stable and I'm making money, I want you to make money. And, I think that's so key because a lot of people are shown or taught at these events that you can get people at such a low wage. And all you're doing is really taking advantage of the person for where they're living. You're not really giving them a chance to live. So that's just me. I think that paying more gets you more in the long run, one way or the other.
And that applies to everybody who is working under norms. So it's not only about me; it's about everybody, and I'm quite sure about it.
Well, you don't know that. I usually.
Oh, I know that. I do know that.
I pay you too much, so I can't pay anybody else.
Oh,
God.
God.
But no, it is very important, and wage is important, security is important, making sure you have the right equipment is important. The next step to this is our communication. So, you're in India. You're 13 hours difference than I am. So
9 or 10 probably.
How do what about communication?
Yes. So regarding communication, I think that is the most vital part, because till the time you're doing something, you're working, but if you're not communicating properly, there's a gap. And when you work in a team or with an organization, you have to communicate things very properly. So we do have different platforms for communicating, but especially we make sure that we are doing our best, and everything that is done or has to be done or it's going on is properly communicated with whatever Skype. We do follow teamwork software and everything possible, but we do maintain that communication properly.
Yeah, when Maria, that was the other lady that was here. We were trying to streamline Slack, everything on Slack. A couple of my companies are on Slack, but for us, for you and me, we don't want 10 different channels to communicate. When I want to get a hold of Vandana, we're going to be on Slack, but we have, and for the last year and a half, been one channel, and that is Skype. And so if I need to search anything, I go to Skype. We do have our Zoom meetings, but Skype is where everything is for now. Eventually, everybody will be over on Slack. And the project management tool is so key. So we have all like everybody who's involved with the companies on teamwork, and teamwork also acts as a technical support or like a support desk. But you, like for me, I'm the old guy, so I don't use teamwork. But what I will do is I will use Loom. So it's a video app. I do everything. I share my screen. I show you exactly what needs to happen, or I'll just give you an audio. Oh, hey, could you send Alex this information? Blah 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 blah, and then you coordinate everything for me, going over to any of our other contractors. And so it's so important because when you have one task, that's easy to handle. But when you have literally hundreds of tasks, you can mess up. And dated events. We do have a lot of dated events, don't we?
Yes. And it's more like, while assigning tasks as well, it's like Norm sends me information. If there's some access I need, then yes, we do use LastPass as well. So to get the access, to share the credentials, and from there I take it forward. I'll distribute the work or divide the work, or share it on the teamwork with the proper information and all the data in there. And then from there, it's my task, it's my duty to get that done and send him the final thing before the deadline, or make sure that it is happening and give him the update if it is taking time.
Right. Now, Kels, I just saw Kyle. Do we have anything that we have for Wheel of Kel? What's with the hairdo today?
Oh yes, so lockdowns are still here in Toronto. So my roommate and I took the pair of scissors and we did a little work on it. So it's a little poofy right now.
There you go.
But anyways, we do have a prize today. It's fantastic. It's our grand prize from Rad. So Kyle is right. Hashtag Wheel of Kelsey. This is only going to be for North America only, unfortunately, but it is Rad's grand prize of his solar spotlight. So he sent it to me before, and I've used it, and it's fantastic.
I've seen
perfect
that.
for anyone camping.
Yeah, you came down. I was blown away by how powerful that spotlight is, and it's all solar. So it's really cool. But Rad, man, if you're on, I'm not sure if you're here today, but we really appreciate all these gifts that you've given away. I mean, it's fantastic. It just sums it up for our community. Our community's just absolutely great. They're sharing. Man, anyways, it's great. Thank you, Rad. So if you're looking to add an entry, hashtag Wheel of Kelsey. If you're looking for 2 entries, it's hashtag Wheel of Kelsey and tag 2 people, and we'll get you in for the grand prize today. And it really is an awesome prize.
Am I eligible for this?
Do you live in North America?
No, but that's my question. Am I eligible for it? Can I apply for it? Do I have consideration?
You don't, because if you were in North America, move over here. I won't increase your salary, but move over here. And
Oh God.
So one of the other things that's very important, and time, it's not time consuming. At the very beginning, it's time consuming, and that's creating templates. We didn't even talk about this last night, but templates, they take time to do. Whether you're on Monday's Trello, ClickUp, we're on Teamwork, and we take time and we create what's called a task list, which is a series of tasks underneath it. And each task might have other subtasks underneath that as well. It gets quite in depth. But let's say that we have a product launch. So we have a product launch task list. Right now, I know it's 279 tasks that we can pick. So if there's an influencer task group, subtask, we can use that. If it's going to search, find, buy, or if it's doing rebates, or if it's doing whatever, there's the group. And all we have to do is click on the group, click on the project, transfer over the project or the template, and we're off and running. And it works fantastic. It really does work fantastic.
And it ensures that you're not missing anything, or there's nothing which is left or you forgot about doing it. So that's the best way. I also completely depend. So every time we are doing anything or we are starting a particular thing, we make sure that the template is up to date, or we create a template for that particular task and we do follow that, and with
And
teamwork we do ensure that it's happening.
And in the first grouping or wherever you are going down, there is the ability to have their dependencies. So if
Yeah.
you're working with a dated event, boom, okay, this has to be done. I have to send the copy over to a press release writer. And once that's done, it opens up. Now it goes over to the editor. Now, when that's done, it goes over to the client to get approved. It's got revisions. All right, then the process starts all over again. But it helps us save so much time and energy. And within the task, there's usually links that explain it, so everybody knows what's going on, and links to the SOP that's involved with all these tasks. So every task that we have, for the most part, has some form of SOP. SOP, if you don't know what I'm talking about, is a standard operating procedure, and that's tied in to a policy and procedure. So the policy kind of outlines is the buy-in. Why do I need to do this? How do I do it? So, links to how I do it. The prerequisites. So if you have to log into Seller Central, it'll show you how to do it. Link back to that SOP. Any words that need to be defined. Then it goes into the standard operating procedure that describes each aspect of what we're doing. And it is, when I told you, I think at the beginning, how many steps there were, you were rolling your eyes, but it has to be that way because it's got to be clear and concise. A small task might have 45 steps, but every click of the mouse, you see it. And then there's a review, and then there's like reporting, and then there's quantification. Like we want to make sure that this policy is working, who you're reporting to, and how often does it get reviewed. So I think this is all very important, and we can do a whole podcast on standard operating procedures. If you're interested, there's a great book out there from Michael Gerber called The E-Myth, and that actually was the way I started with my SOPs. Now, the other thing we have to, we didn't talk about this last night on the call either, but I think you think I'm probably a little nuts when it comes to labeling files. They have
Oh
to be,
yeah, that's really a thing, and it is very important. So we do maintain Google Drive for keeping all the files, and there is a standard operating procedure on that as well. It has a naming convention, it has everything. So you just cannot miss it. If you are uploading a file and you've not named it properly, be ready, it's gonna come on you. Normal is just gonna send you a 2 minutes audio saying that why you did not do it and how difficult was it was for him to find it, and how he went and checked his email and found that file, and it's gonna be
but
a
that
blunt.
is that is the whole reason behind this, Kelsey. Please listen. When you name the files properly, then like you can go into Google Drive, and with us, we have lots of companies they're working with. So we've created tons of logos for people. So I type in logo. Well, on Google Drive, I'll get 1,000 files, like just different mock-ups. And this. Let's say I have XYZ company. Well, our naming protocol is basically you have the 2 letters of the word. So XY space hyphen space, and then logos. Now, even more so, we have default folders. So the second we bring on a client, we have, for at least with the managed services, 40. There is 40 and subfolders that get copied and set up immediately. It takes 2 minutes to do, but then when you go in, I know, if I have packaging, I can go into this client XY, XY space hyphen space, and I just have to put packaging. Boom, it's up. If I want to see XY space hyphen space logo, guess what? It's up. It's just so easy. If you spend 5 minutes or 15 minutes searching for a file, that's 15 minutes you could be doing something else with. So that's one thing that I'm pretty,
Yes.
yeah, we have to have our,
Serious about, yeah, very
I,
serious.
I'm serious about that
And
one.
we make sure, like, every time we are working, for example, if I'm getting some projects done by a graphic designer, or some image has to be changed and a designer is working on it, and if I don't upload it, obviously it's going to be in my device forever. But if somebody goes in and tries to find it, they will not be able to find it, and there are instances that we do face problems sometimes when we don't upload it. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and you
very.
never know when you need it. So it might be a packaging file. It might need, let's say it's just a Word doc, or say we're doing some keyword research. So
Mhm.
Vandana might have it on her Google Drive, but unless she shares it within the Google Drive, that the company's Google Drive,
Yes.
um, then there's a problem. I might want to do some keyword research, and I might be doing like I might be writing invoices or something, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Boom, I can't find it. Vandana's out partying, she always does, but I can't get a hold of Vandana. So now I'm stuck for until she answers, or the next day, and
Yeah.
I can't do what I want to do. This way, it's a no-brainer. Anybody who has the right permissions can go to any Google file in our system, either through Teamwork or just Google, when we give them permissions on Google Drive. So that makes things so much easier. And the other thing I like trying to teach people is working with shortcuts.
Yeah.
So with Google Drive, I mean, it's so simple. If you have to change a name, you press N. Within Gmail, if you want to forward something, F. I mean, it's so much better. Those wasted times hovering and trying to bring, like, even a trackball, just bringing your mouse to a certain area takes time. And over a period of a year, it could take days or weeks of time that you could have committed to something else. So we try to get people to learn shortcuts and work the most efficient ways we possibly can.
And we do spend once in a while, like we do, you can say it weekly or something, but that's one of my tasks actually, once in a week or something. So I look at everything, all my download folders, or even, there could be screenshots, that could be copy of emails that I have to file. And once in a while, it's like an hour or something, you filter everything, you put everything together, you name it properly, and then that this week's all the file or all the data has been transferred to Google Drive. Transferring ownership also is very important, because if I delete my account someday and I've transferred something, it's gonna get lost, or we might miss it. So we always have to make sure that the ownership is under the norms ID or the main account, so that it never gets lost no matter what.
Yeah, and the other thing is training to train to train. So we try to train. I don't I don't want to have to answer questions. Everybody on our team is trained to come back with solutions. So if there's a problem, and we have a policy in the company that, look, it's okay to make mistakes. And really, I don't care how big of a mistake it's made. People are going to make a mistake, and nobody's going to get screamed at. It doesn't solve anything. It just puts fear into people. So first mistakes, go for it. What is it? But come back to me with a solution. Did you make a mistake? Did you not look at the SOP? What step in the SOP did you find that there was a problem? Oh, it was step 19. Oh, okay, that's probably me or somebody else who originally wrote the SOP that made a
Yeah.
mistake, or there was something that got away and there's a new step in there. Okay,
Yes.
so how do you fix it? All right, boom, it's fixed. Not me, Vandana, or whoever's writing them. And
Yes.
by the way, we train everybody to write SOPs for their department. Vandana can't do it all the time. Plus, if people don't know how to do them, they can't improve their departments. So the first time it's, yeah, look, let's just go over it, let's just find it. Very seldom is there a second mistake, but if there is, all right, what happened? Where are you? Come back with a solution. Vandana never wants to come back to me and say, what's the answer?
Oh,
You know,
it's like
she, I put it on you.
No,
But
always like I just try to sort out things. So if there's anything, like give me 5 minutes, I'll solve it. I'll
yeah,
do it right now.
yeah, and it's important because if you don't do that, first of all, you're micromanaging, and second of all, the person doesn't learn. And how do you grow your business? So on the second attempt, we go through the exact same thing, and it's the same thing happens. No screaming, no yelling. There's very, very seldom. I don't even think I know of anybody in the last year or so that got a third strike. So the third strike is, look, you just don't get it. You don't belong in this either task or job. And then we move along. And it's usually mutual because either the person's stressed out. And that's the other thing. We work only on strengths, not weaknesses. We'll improve weaknesses. If somebody wants to take accounting, but they think accounting sucks, we can do that. But why have somebody stress out? I want them focusing on their strengths. And that's pretty much how we do it. And the other thing for anybody who's training is training. It's not, oh, here's the task, go and figure it out. A person has to understand it. And that's where a lot of entrepreneurs make the mistake because they're so busy that they can't train properly. They don't have time to train. And by not spending that extra time, they have a really good person that they get rid of that could have been an excellent employee or contractor at the end of the day, but they never had a chance. They were doomed to fail because of the training. So we really do try to train people properly. And then the trainer learns to train people properly. So I don't have to get into it. Vandana doesn't really want to get into it. We get the departments doing it themselves. But again, I think the key.
And we
Go
yeah,
ahead,
and we
Vandana.
do follow that, because I'm quite sure I think we have training, videos, SOP, or even the paid subscription of those training, everything you said. We have it. We have all the trainings, like from basic to a pro level to everything. And that's what we do in SOPs as well. It's not just step 1 2 3 4 5 and it's done. It's never that. It explains you, it says you the purpose, it says you why you are doing it, what you will get out of it, everything. So it's not just from a purpose of doing something, finishing the work and going back to your place. It's about even learning it, using it. It shows you all the formulas, all the strategies that you have followed. It shows you examples as well. So yeah, that's very one of the important thing that we follow. We do have to bring up new things, keep training about it, and keep writing about it. For me also, I every now and then I'm getting new things that you have to look at it, and my main duty is to not only look at it, learn it, but also summarize it and send it to the team or whosoever would need it, or to Norm, that this is what I've learned, or this is what we can implement, or we can use it. So we do keep it as a priority.
Yeah, and we try to create a performance-based culture where, again, not asking, coming back with a solution rather than having one person, being that bottleneck. No suggestion is a bad suggestion. We will come back, we'll talk about it. It's open discussion. And one thing I hate, well, first of all, you'll never, the one thing that will irk me and will get anybody out of the company is gossip. No gossip. This is a non-gossip. We don't talk about anybody. That's one rule that I've learned over the years is gossip kills. I won't take part in it and don't want anything to do with it. And none of my team does either. So, and we also provide the room for everybody to grow. We provide free training. If anybody wants to take any course at all, the company pays for it. We want to bring out excellence, and that's one way we can do it. And I think you'll agree that I let you run your department. I don't micromanage at all. You do
Not at
whatever you
all.
want, right?
Yeah.
So
And that's the
that's
best
important.
part. So, yes.
Yeah.
That's
So
that's
go
the
ahead.
best part from my side also, because yes, because you are told what has to be done, and it's your duty to do that, no matter how you're doing it, when you're doing it. But you have a task and you have a deadline. Go ahead, do it. and
Right.
that's the best thing. And if you find out something, or if you have a difficult in between, you reach out, you talk about it, you get it sorted. But I don't think we do that at all, because we have everything arranged, we have, everything in place, properly done, properly saved, and there you go. You just do
And
the task.
and one of the things that just to build trust and loyalty,
Yeah,
we did it briefly where we were taking screenshots, and I know that there's some recruiting or placement companies that do this, but I don't want my team using like Time Doctor or stuff like that. I completely trust my team, and I don't want to have to watch every minute. We do ask for time studies
yeah,
because we want to know if somebody's not efficient, how do we get them better training? But I hate, I don't know, I just think if I had to do this Time Doctor thing, and Time Doctor might be a great product, but I don't. I don't want you having to think that I'm looking over your shoulder. If you're telling me you're working 2.5 hours and it took this time, great. If there's a lot more money being spent or it's not being efficient, then okay, let's go through it. Let's figure this out. But
yeah.
you have to have trust. So, and we had that question yesterday on the call was, how much, how much trust?
Yes.
Well, there's a lot of trust. We're completely transparent, aren't we?
Yeah, we are actually.
Yeah. So I mean, basically everything that's going on in the business. You know what I make, like within the business. Like what I make on each project. I share the invoices. I don't hide, and I think that's probably the best way. Somebody said, "Oh, but this was privately. What about, worrying about starting your own business? Go for it. You
Yeah.
know, I'll help you." But I think that, having a really good crew, having a good team, that's it. That's all about it. If I can build them up to be successful in other ways, then all the power to them.
Yes.
So, Kelsey, any other questions? I know I haven't been looking at all.
Yeah, there's lots of questions.
Oh yeah.
People are eager to
Oh,
learn.
good.
Okay, so from Tony, how often do you meet with Vandana?
The truth.
Oh, no, please
Don't,
don't talk about
don't.
that.
What we're
Don't
supposed to meet and how often we do meet. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, it's like you have to ping him every day. Do you have time to talk? I need 30 minutes. Do you have time to? I have to send him a document, like 20 questions, 20 things, 20 topics. We need this. You approve this. Please talk about this. I want to know this. And you just wait for him to reply.
But if it's
That's,
urgent, I'll get back to you.
oh, no, no, no. Please don't trust him. I have to write email some urgent, urgent reply.
Oh, that's
And
good.
then you get his message. I am in a meeting. I'll get back shortly.
Yeah.
That's a reply to an urgent email.
But no, we try to meet. Things come up, but I do know when Vandana says I need to talk now, I will. There is a time difference, but Vandana's awesome. Like right now, or last night when we were talking, it was what, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning.
I was off at 1:45 a.m. So
Yeah.
almost 2.
And so it's kind of, I don't make Vandana work into the night. We just kind of adjusted the
exactly.
hours to work, that time. Kelsey's a different story, but so
24/7 for me.
I think like for us, if we had, I know with PR Reach and with Honu, with TCA, it's once a week we meet, and same thing. I'd like to meet Vandana once a week.
Hope so. I
Yeah,
think
okay.
next time I'll contact Kelsey when it doesn't happen.
Okay,
But yeah,
very good.
same point. We also do organize a weekly meeting with all the staff, like all the teams together, to talk about things that are going on, if it is interconnected, or if we do have a similar
That's
projects going on.
intercompany. Yeah, intercompany, not just with the staff.
Yeah. So we do have it. So we do keep a time for it and discuss what is going on, what are the new strategies that we have to follow, or if there's any going to be any new communication tool that we would like to introduce to get the things go more properly or smoothly. So we do
But at
follow
the
that.
beginning,
It doesn't happen often.
lady, we
Yeah.
met a lot because Vandana had to learn kind of the culture of the company. She had to learn. She knew a lot about Amazon, but there was different ways that we may have done things differently, and she was learning that. And she was bringing in training, so we met probably every day, maybe twice a day at the very beginning. So it's a longer process. But look at right now, I could go
Yeah.
away. I
Beginning is
don't.
like
I
one
can't
and a half
travel.
year ago.
What's that?
Beginning is like 1.5 year ago, and now it's like once in a week or not even that. I have to keep continuing. I sometimes write and talk to you on at least Saturday. I'm gonna be available on Saturday, but please do book 15 minutes, 30 minutes, something.
But we always do when we need to be.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, next
Okay.
question. She's got me on the
Okay, this
hot
is
seat.
also from Tony. How do you handle it when Vandana needs time off or not able to work? Is it hourly or salary compensation?
It's salary, and if Vandana ever needs time off, she just has to ask.
Yeah, I just have to
Okay.
inform him, or most probably it doesn't happen because it's not fixed hour that you have to be available from this to this time. So if
Yeah.
there's an hours difference, we just manage it early or later at the day.
Yeah, she just gets her job done. And then, I mean, even if she has to go away or if she's going on a holiday, like when you went Poland over to India,
Yeah.
hey, I'm going to be off for a couple of days. Okay, we got you covered.
Yeah, he's very generous about it. So I get paid
Not
a lot
really.
of time.
I'll dock you.
All right, from Simon, is Vandana only working with Norm? What motivates Vandana to stay loyal to Norm?
Better
Yes.
answer this carefully.
Very carefully. Yes, I don't work for him. I am actually. It's again, as he just said, it's like a salary based thing. So it's a full time job for me. And trust me, I don't get even a spare hour from out of this to look into something else. There's no time for it. But if I have to say about why do I have to stay loyal, because again, as we talked about things, it's not only that I'm coming here working, taking my salary and going away. It's like we are working together, getting things done. I'm growing, I'm learning from both the perspectives. So it's a both way thing, and we do actually maintain that. So I think that is the important thing. Why do I have to be properly loyal about it?
I've lost people in the past. I've lost lots of people in the past, and you have
Yeah.
to constantly grow. Why did they leave? You, I know it's hard, but sometimes you just have to do an exit interview, and like, why did you leave? What happened? What motivated you to do this? And wow, I was a jerk. I did this. So it's over the years. It just I have what I think right now. If I take a look, Alex has been with me 15 years. Mary's been with me 3 or 4 years. You've been with me a year and a. Like, people don't leave once we get them into our system.
Yes, and they
I
are
hope.
trustworthy. No, obviously it is, and these people are very trustworthy. I'm just not talking about myself here, but other people also in the team, like Mary or Alex or
Mana.
everybody. Mana, yeah, all of them. So
Yeah.
you don't have to think like twice. Also, if you want something or you want to talk about it or you want to get things done, it's just you have to reach out. Hi, Mana, I need your help, and she's
Yeah,
gonna help.
and something I know it might come up, but there's days that are bad days that I'm not always happy and cheerful, and I want to point that out because this is a working relationship. There's Kelsey knows this, there's days that I'm not a happy camper, and usually it's because of my own stress. I've got too much going on. I shouldn't have done it, or
Yeah,
something's happened that was either out of my control, or for the most part, it's usually because I cause the stress, and then I vent. No, like screaming and yelling, but people know I'm on edge, and
yeah,
I'll either want answers or just vent. But it happens, and it happens in any relationship.
Yeah.
Right, Kelsey?
Yeah. Sometimes you just need to get it out and just little
Like
little
that's what I
therapy
do. You
session.
just have to sit there for 10 minutes and listen
Yeah.
everything is saying and see what you are going to do to just
Yeah.
do it, finish it. That's it. Done. Do it. I just every time he's mad at something, I'm like, I know this is not my thing. Give me 5 minutes, I'll get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I
And
go, why didn't you say that at the beginning? Then
and there are sometimes blunders like if he's, for example, this is every time that happens, if he's finding something in Google Drive and he doesn't find it or it's not filed properly, it's like 10 messages, audio, loom, everything on Skype at 4 a.m. my time when I'm not even seeing him. And I wake up in the morning like, oh god, 10 messages, what happened? And you listen to each and every 2-minute audios and like, oh god, you missed to file this.
never yelling.
Don't trust it.
Uh, okay, next
Okay.
question.
All right. This is kind of fun. This is a little. I'm liking this episode. From Simon, I have 20 years of folders. It's a plate of spaghetti. What is the process for cleaning up files and folders?
I use,
So do you have an SOP for naming files?
yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have an SOP for making coffee. So literally, I have SOPs for everything. But I will give you an app or a website that is a time saver. It's called gsuitetips.com. And they've got tools there that will help copy. So what I've done is I've created a master list of files for the managed services. There's 20 files. It'll ask you, do you want to put a prefix in front of it? So you go, you select your master group or wherever that folder is. It says, do you want a prefix? Yes. And I'll put XY space hyphen space. And then all of the files will be copied over under my client files, and it'll be copied within seconds. Plus, I spent the time to put all the sub files in there too. So if we're talking about social media, it's social media banners, Facebook, blah, 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 blah. So, and all we do is it takes 2 minutes and a client, it's just part of the onboarding process. That's the start of it, Simon, is just to try to figure that out. And once you, it might be much harder if you have just a melting pot of folders. But once you get it set up, it's very easy. Like our files are really incredible. They're very organized when Kelsey uses them. Doesn't usually though.
Yeah, never. Okay, let's see. From Brad, is building out a new website with a shopping cart function be a good experience for a VA and the brand owner? Orders in the shopping cart would be fulfilled by Amazon multi-channel fulfillment.
You can do it as long as the training's there. So if you're new to Shopify and you don't know what you're looking for or how it works, and you're trying to get a new VA that doesn't know Shopify, then you're going to mess up. If you this is where I'd probably get a really high quality Shopify designer or programmer who knows how it works, who can explain it, who can document it, who can write the SOP. So if you do want to do it next time, you already have it. But yeah, this would be, you're probably looking for a part-time person. So you can go to companies like Free Up, Online Jobs, iWorker, VAA, what's Yanni's company? Excellent company. But anyway, you can find part-time workers, and those are the people that you probably hire just on a part-time basis. We have tons of part-timers that are just excellent at what they do. Because Vandana, you can't be excellent at everything, right? If I asked you to go and do a Shopify site right now, that's not going to be your strength.
Yes, not at all.
So hopefully that can answer. But Brad, you can actually you ask in the description, what you're looking for, what the prerequisites are. Maybe that they have to have some Amazon knowledge. Maybe they have to know the apps within Shopify, so you can do the multi-channel fulfillment. That's probably where I'd start.
Okay, great. We just have a few more questions from Cynthia. If she is on salary, does she get paid holidays, vacation, or those unpaid?
It's now you're going to get your mind thinking. It's a straight salary.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a string.
And then from Simon, could you say an SOP is the same as a recipe? It has all the ingredients and steps to make the cake.
You got it, and I like cake.
All right, and last comment from Simon. If staff work together in an open plan office or remotely around the world, you have to touch base regularly. Communication is crucial to keep the wheels turning. I definitely agree with that.
I agree with that, but I'm not the. I might be in the middle of it, but Vandana is the one that's coordinating all that. I hardly talk to any of the other people. We've got like tons of people that we're working with. It's not me. It's Vandana is coordinating it. Mana is coordinating it. Like all the writers and all the moving components over on the content side. You've got to, if you're putting that all on you, you'll never be able to automate or scale your business. Especially like for stuff that I'm doing, I'm kind of the face to the business, but if I'm the only person that could do this sort of stuff, I'll never be able to grow it. So how do I sell the business later on? So anyways, so I leave it all to Vandana to do.
All right, well, I think that's it for questions.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, that was interesting. We got to talk a little bit about press releases. Vandana came on and helped us out with this. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be sending you over the Helium 10 Elite training, so you can go through that.
Okay, it's a task for me. So
That's a
this is how
task.
it works.
All right. So before we, go to the Wheel of Kelsey, just a quick 30 seconds. If you haven't entered, it's hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, tag 2 people, and you'll get an extra entry. Are there any other questions that we have here from the audience? Just shoot it over. What does Rad have to say? I can't read it.
It says, I've received lots of honest suggestions from you and your guest. What I'm giving is just a small token of appreciation.
Well, thank you, Rad. I mean, you're really awesome. And one of the things I could probably say just while we're waiting here is that, hey, look, if you like what you heard, if you like this type of, there's no pitching, there's no nothing in this this podcast, please feel free to join our community, hit those like buttons, smash whatever Kelsey tells you to do, that social media stuff I'm too old for. But anyways, please do so. We'd love to have you in our community. Oh, by the way, I got to touch base on this. If anybody is listening who is coming into our community to pitch, don't bother. I got rid of a guy yesterday that came in and all he did was pitch. He's out. And he won't be coming back in. It's a no pitch. It's for content. It's to build. It's to share. If you're a person that wants to share information, join. If you're a person trying to pitch, forget it. You'll be out. And it's not just me that'll toss you out. We got about 4 or 5 other people that just don't tolerate it. They're monitors. Mr. Kels, he's the meanest of them all. But we just don't like that. We're not here to be pitching services. You can go do that somewhere else. But I just hate when I saw that last night and I just went, oh my God. Okay. That's it. My rant.
All right.
That's my rant.
Thank you for that. And it's time for the Wheel of Kelsey. So here we go.
It's time for the Wheel of Kelsey.
All right. So thank you, everyone who has entered for today's draw. I'm going to shuffle the names. This is for Brad's Spotlight. It's solar powered as well. So that's awesome. So here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, Juan.
Marsha.
All right. Marsha Reese. Very good. You're going to love this one, Marsha.
Yes, definitely.
So
Okay.
how do they get the information to you, Kels?
All right, so Marcia is one before, but just k@lunchwithnorm.com, and she can get in touch with me. And that's about it. Thank
All
you,
right.
everyone.
Vandana,
Yes.
keep being awesome.
Sure. I'll
Keep
do
me
my
in
best.
line. Keep me in line. All right.
Yes.
Hey, thank you for the short notice. I really appreciate you coming on and kind of sharing, what a day in the life of a senior project manager is like.
Yes. That was a pleasure. Thank you.
All right. So you'll see, you'll probably see that the podcast ends, and then you can just click off of it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. We'll see Vandana later, and hope you enjoyed this. Kind of a unique. I was going into the fetal position, but she pulled it off. She's awesome. What about you, Kels?
Doing great. Doing fantastic. So if you guys haven't watched it already, or if you guys haven't subscribed and liked already, do that now. Smash those buttons. You can head over to our YouTube channel at Norman Farrar for updates and full episodes. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. Let us know what you're doing. Enjoy it. I know it's Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there this weekend. And thank you to Vandana for doing this. We really appreciate it. And it was a great episode. I think everyone learned a lot. We had lots of engagement, so that's awesome. So, yeah.
And nobody targeted her to recruit away from me either. All right. So please join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. Look, love you guys being in part of our community. It's awesome. Tons of engagement. You ask the questions, we will answer it in the community. So anyways, as Kelsey said, happy Mother's Day to all the moms, and we will talk to you soon.
Lunch with the